To ensure that sufficient power remains for core testing protocols, all safety devices have been disabled. The Enrichment Center respects your right to have questions or concerns about this policy. Well done. The Enrichment Center reminds you that although circumstances may appear bleak, you are not alone. All Aperture Science personality constructs will remain functional in apocalyptic, low-power environments of as few as 1.1 volts. Great work. Because this message is pre-recorded, any observations related to your performance are speculation on our part. Please disregard any undeserved compliments. Good. Before re-entering a relaxation vault at the conclusion of testing, please take a moment to write down the results of your test. An Aperture Science Reintegration Associate will revive you for an interview when society has been rebuilt.
What you've just seen was a map that I made a couple of months ago as a gift for a friend who likes the Overgrown theme and lasers. I'm pretty proud of how this map looks. and it was also one of my first times actually designing a puzzle. So, in this first room, we have a broken test chamber sign. The shading on this ended up a little wonky. This is using a special type of surface and source called a displacement, and it allows you to make surfaces that are not flat without requiring use of an instanced mesh like these ruins. This main room, it came out really nice with the very open ceiling. And one thing that I'm particularly proud of is the cube dropper, and how it just drops new cubes. Making back tubes is a little annoying in the source engine. Another thing is this Death Emancipation Grill, which I stole from Portal Story Smell. It's basically just an emancipation grill that kills you if you try to go through it. There's a hole in the level there. I didn't notice that. Yeah, and it also uses a dynamic light, so there are really nice crisp shadows here that also update in real time, as you can see with these leaves. Now the main focus of this puzzle is something called a bootstrap, which is a test element that powers itself. When I do this, you can see from the ant line that this laser emitter is powering the capture, which in turn is powering the emitter. It's kind of like a paradox, I guess? I don't know. So we continue through the map. There's unintentionally a trope in Source games of a door, a catwalk, and another door. That wasn't supposed to be a trope, but it's here. I don't know why. And then we have this little behind the scenes area. Not much here. There's this radio, and it will play a song that is copyrighted if I pick it up, so I'm not going to pick it up since this map was a gift for a friend, and it plays a song that my friend likes. Then we have this little place where we can peek in. There's some frames that you're technically standing on. This is, I don't know, I thought it was pretty fun. I tried to make it as not obvious as possible from out here that there's actually stuff behind there. And then when you end up here, that it really pops out and is visible. I probably could have done it a bit better in retrospect, I don't know. Then we have this very broken hallway, and this is one aspect of the map I'm really proud of. You'll notice that this also has a dynamic light. This was a major challenge to do, since in the Source engine, this kind of dynamic light you can only have one at a time. So around the map there are triggers that will switch between this one and the one in the main room over there. This puzzle it's a little tricky. I feel that it probably could have been a bit less finicky in retrospect. And yeah, so fizzle the cube, and then the cube breaks the thing, so we now have access to this laser again. Once in this room, the Emancipation Grill goes away, so you can now bring portals. The original intention was that you would then place a portal in here and have the cube come out of the portal in here. But that ended up not really being necessary, so I don't know. Then in this hallway, we have a broken cube map. Probably should have compiled those. But it's one of the projector rooms that you see a couple times throughout the escape sequence in Portal 1. This whole behind the scenes is very much based off of Portal 1. We have this very well lit room with just some broken computers or a broken shelf with computers on the ground. It's a nice little room. Having those little areas really help make the world feel more alive. And here we have a disassembled button from Portal 1. This was pretty fun to do. When you drag the Portal 1 assets into the Portal 2 directory, like I've done for Portal, and also Half-Life, for some reason the textures on the button are broken. Also test chamber doors. I don't know why. I don't know. But it's a nice little button that you can disassemble and take apart since it's two separate meshes for some reason. Whereas in Portal 1 it's only, or in Portal 2 it's just one mesh. Then we have this room, which has a high energy pellet launcher. This is the canonical other side of them. You can see it in one of the maps from Chapter 1 when you see Wheatley again and he makes a hole in the wall and you go to GLaDOS' room. This door is blocked, which nothing can exist here since the test chamber hallway is blocking where this room would be. Then we have this room, where you now have access to this upper area. Before this test chamber was destroyed, you would have been able to portal onto this wall, but you can't, so you can't access up here anymore. Or at least without going on this whole behind the scenes journey. Now this puzzle I'm pretty proud of, since it builds on top of it, because the intention was that the player would place the cube on the button, and then try to figure out what to do from here, then realize that they need the cube. So they'd have to kind of memorize the path of the laser, and eventually figure out that this is what you have to do. I'm pretty proud of how this puzzle came out, even if it is a bit much. And then the level ends. So here the map is in Hammer. This is actually what Hammer is like when it's not in an obnoxiously fast time lapse. Oh, that's another fun thing. The elevators would overlap, so there's actually an invisible portal in the middle of this door that's completely seamless that you don't notice. So here's the main room. There are lots of invisible walls everywhere. Just because I don't want the player to somehow get... Why is there a cube up here? So when the announcer talks, this cube is actually the one talking. Well, welcome to the Source Engine. There's a lot of stuff in here. Hammer just really makes everything so much uglier. I'm using a lot of instances in this, which makes it a lot easier to have a lot of doors that all look kind of the same. Then I have this door instance that I've made. Excuse me. There was a ton of clipboards in this room, I forgot. I wanted them to stack, but unfortunately they don't collide with each other, so instead I just made them splay all over the floor. I didn't even notice them. That's a shame. In this room I put a ton of wrenches down for some reason. I don't know why. Now this room was a bit of a challenge, since these panels will move into place once the map starts. They appear still once you actually get to being able to see them. But when you would be able to see them, the lighting for them is compiled when they're in this open position, not when they're all the way out. So what I had to do was make a separate brush for this wall. And when you press this lever, it will delete this brush, and so the lighting will look like it actually updated instead of being completely static, which I'm pretty proud of. This uses another one of those moved floors. It's called a displacement, I believe. It also allows me to blend this dirt texture into it, which is pretty cool. One thing that surprised me is that these ant lines actually can go on top of displacements, which I was not expecting when I first made the map. There's also these couple of destroyed floors. They're tedious to make, but they look cool, and that's what matters. And then there's the exit elevator, which is using a pre-made instance by Valve. Now you may notice that the emancipation grills are not here. That is because they count as triggers, and there are a lot of triggers in this map that do all sorts of things. This one, I believe so it makes the announcer's first line start and it closes the door. And then I have, so this trigger will switch between the two dynamic lights, these things. And I also have separate baked lights that it will toggle off and on. So if I were to just do this and put a portal there and fly over here, you can notice the lighting kind of pop when you go between these two rooms. And I'm very happy that triggers actually work when going through portals. That made this whole thing a lot easier. This map is kind of a mess. There's a lot of meshes in it. Here's that impossible office door that would intersect with the hallway. This hallway was going to be straight, but it wasn't. I don't know why. Oh, wait, no, because of this. I made this map a couple of months ago. I haven't opened it since. I'm finally just getting around to recording this. So, yeah, this sort of video where it is gameplay and then live developer commentary of the map is what I want the Chronos series to be from now on for the next couple of maps, instead of it being a ton of time-lapse and then the actual map. I feel that this is more interesting and allows more insight on the process. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. And See you next time.